Good afternoon. My name is William Baxter, and this is Webb's Speech Platform. Today's interpretive reading from my book, American Civil War in a Nutshell, is more or less about the last casualty of the American Civil War. And the reading's entitled Abraham Lincoln Assassination Conspirators. John Wilkes Booth. He was one of the actors performing at Ford's Theater. He sneaked into the president's balcony during the performance and shot Abraham Lincoln in the back of the head. Then he leaped down from the balcony, sustaining a broken leg, but managed to escape out the front door. Days later, he was cornered by the authorities in a barn with an accomplice, David Herold. First, the police tried to smoke him out by setting fire to the barn, and then they fatally shot him. The next conspirator was Lewis Powell, aka Lewis Payne. On the night Lincoln was assassinated, Powell was guided to the home of Secretary of State William Seward by David Herold. William Seward and his household were seriously wounded by Powell, but all of them survived. Though Powell managed to escape from the Seward home after the failed assassination attempt, he was later apprehended and hanged. The next conspirator was David Herold, which I've mentioned a couple times already. He aided Lewis Powell to the Seward home so Powell could assassinate Lincoln's Secretary of State, William Seward. And shortly later, he aided John Wilkes Booth in his escape after he shot and killed Abraham Lincoln. He was later cornered in a burning barn with Booth, and he surrendered to the authorities while Booth was shot and killed. The next conspirator was George Atzerodt. He was assigned to assassinate Vice President Andrew Johnson, but he chickened out. Later, at the hotel bar, he asked for the location of the vice president, which aroused suspicion, as it was the day after the Lincoln assassination. The police searched Atzerot's room and found evidence linking him to John Wilkes Booth. Azeroth was later arrested. And the final conspirator was Mary Surratt. She was the first woman in U.S. history to be executed by the U.S. federal government. Her boarding house in Washington, D.C. provided the meeting location for John Wilkes Booth, Lewis Powell, and other conspirators who were plotting the assassination of Abraham Lincoln and his cabinet members. And that ends today's reading. It was a brief just story of each of the conspirators, but they were all. Booth died by being shot in a barn, while the rest of the conspirators, including Mary Surratt, were hung. Tomorrow, I will be giving my last interpretive reading from my book, American Civil War in a Nutshell, which is called The Origin of Taps. Until then, I hope you all have a good afternoon. Bye now.